Salute family, welcome back to Numbers Off the Hook. Today is equation part 2. We already did part 1, now we're going to do part 2 and things is going to get more trickier, right? It's going to get trickier, but we're just going to keep adding it. We're going to keep working on this, okay? So guys, the first equation of today is x divided by 3 is equal to 2. Let's start here. So in part 1, we solved all the equations by adding and subtracting on both sides, right? Now we have something like this. So what do? What's the inverse of dividing with 3? Well, the inverse of dividing is multiplying, right? That's the opposite. So what we're going to do now is we're going to multiply both sides with 3. So what we do is we just write the same thing again, right? Like this. And then we multiply this with 3 and we multiply this with 3. Okay? So now we see the magic happen here again. We have 3 divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1, right? So on the left hand side now we have 1 times x, right? And on the right hand side we have 3 times 2, that's equal to 6. Okay. 1 times x, well, that's just x, is equal to 6. And that's the solution. You guys follow along here? So here, when we solve the equation, we multiply both sides with the same number 3. And when we did that, we got rid of this 3. We ended up with 1 times x, which is just x. And on the right hand side, we had 3 times 2, which is equal to 6. Okay? Now let's check our solution. We always want to check our solutions to prevent mistakes. So the left hand side here was equal to x divided by 3, right? And now we claim that x is equal to 6. So this should be 6 divided by 3. Well, 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. And 2 is equal to the right hand side of the equation. So this is equal to the right hand side of the equation. So our solution here is it's okay. Okay? Our next equation is 9b is equal to minus 27. But wait a minute, there's no x here. Well, a variable can be any letter. It doesn't have to be x. So here in this case, the variable is b. So we're going to solve for b, okay? And now we have 9 times b. And we want to isolate b, so we want to get rid of the 9. Well, how do we get rid of the 9? The opposite of 9 times is divided by 9. So we're going to write the same thing again. Okay, we write 9b and we write minus 27. Right? I haven't done anything yet. I just wrote the same thing again. And now we're going to divide both sides with 9. So if I divide this by 9, I have to also divide this by 9. And now we see here that this 9 and this 9 are going to cancel each other out, right? This 9 and this 9, they're going to cancel each other out. So we're going to end up with 1 times b. 9 divided by 9 is equal to 1. So we have 1 times b. On the right hand side, we have minus 27 divided by 9. That's equal to minus 3, right? Because 3 times 9 is equal to 27. And then if you remember the cheat code, you know that there should be a minus sign there. So we have minus 3. Well, now we have that 1 times b, that's just equal to b at the end of the day. Okay? 1 times any number is equal to the number itself. So we have 1 times b is equal to b, and here we have minus 3. So the solution here is b is equal to minus 3. Let's do our check to make sure we don't make mistakes. We don't want to make any mistakes here, guys. So we have left hand side was equal to 9b, right? Well, now we said that b is equal to minus 3. So we have 9 times minus 3. All right, instead of writing b here, I wrote minus 3. Well, that is equal to minus 27, right? Which is equal to the right-hand side of the equation. So it's all good. It's all good. The left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. So this solution, b is equal to minus 3, is okay. Now, the next equation, we have this. It's starting to get more and more nasty, right? Getting more and more difficult, guys. But we're just gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep being systematic and we keep going step by step, okay? So we want to isolate x, right? That's always our goal. We want to isolate x. Well, there's two guys here that is with x. There's an 8 and there's a 3, right? So we want to get rid of the 8. Let's start there. How do we get rid of that 8? Well, since it's divided by 8, we're gonna do the inverse. That's multiply with 8. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna have 9, and then we're gonna multiply that with 8. And then here we have minus 3 divided by 8, x, right? And we're gonna multiply that with 8. So we multiply the left-hand side and the right-hand side with 8. Now, these two things, they cancel out. And we remain here with only minus 3x. On the left-hand side, we have 9 times 8. That's equal to 72. Right? Now, we have minus 3 times x. So we're going to divide both sides with minus 3. So we divide this with minus 3, and we're going to divide this with minus 3. So 72 divided by minus 3 is equal to minus 24, right? And here we have 1 times x. A number, minus 3, divided by itself is always equal to 1. So 1 times x, that's just x. So we have that x is equal to minus 24. And that's the solution. So it's getting more tricky now. But it's all good. Let's check our solution as the final step. Let's do our check. It's all good, guys. We just keep working on this. So our right-hand side, it was minus 38 times x. And now we have that x is equal to minus 24. So that's equal to minus 38 times minus 24. So now we have this minus and a minus. Two negative numbers multiplied to each other is a positive number. So they're going to cancel each other out. So we can just write it as 3 divided by 8 times 24. But here we have 24 over 8. That's equal to 3. So we have 3 times 3. That's just 9 at the end of the day. And that's equal to the left-hand side of the equation. So we have that the right-hand side is equal to the left-hand side. So this solution, x equal minus 24, is okay. The next equation is 3x minus 2 in brackets, right, is equal to 45. Now, x minus 2 in brackets means this is the inner operator. So we're going to deal with what's outside of the bracket first. So what we're going to do is we're going to write the same thing again. Let me show you guys the easy way. And we're just going to divide the whole thing with 3. So if we divide it on 3 on this side, we divide it by 3 on this side. Okay. And now, these two things, they cancel each other out. Okay? So we only have x minus 2. And here, on the right-hand side, we have 45 divided by 3, that's 15. And we have that x is equal to 15 plus 2, right? And we have that x is equal to 17. That's the solution. So here, the trick is to deal with what's on the outside first, and then we move in because of this bracket. Okay? That was the lesson here. So let's check our solution. Let's check. Let's make sure there's no mistakes here. So we had that the left-hand side, right, that was equal to 3x minus 2, right? Let's plug in our number here. So we have 3 times, right, 17 minus 2. Okay, 17 minus 2 is equal to 15. So this is equal to 3 times 15, which is equal to 45, right? And 45 is the right-hand side of the equation. So we have that the left-hand side of the equation is equal to the right-hand side of the equation. So this solution is okay. The next equation looks like this. Now we have x at several places. It's getting difficult, guys. So what do we do? Now the first step is going to be to make sure that x is only in one place. Okay? We don't want x all over the place. We only want x first to be at one place. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we can switch, right? Let's just write this thing again, but we can write it as this, right? Plus 2. So what I did here, I just switched the order of 2 and minus x. We can do that because of the associative and the commutative properties, right? That's all good. We can move around as we want. Okay, so now we have 2 x's. We want to get to 1. How do we do that? Well, what we do is we factorize. We write x like this. And then here we have 4. And here we have minus 1. That's how we do it. And then plus 2 is equal to 14. So what we did here, very, very tricky. What we did here is we factorize. Factorize. And now we only have 1x. And 4 minus 1, that's equal to 3. So we have basically 3x plus 2 is equal to 14. Some teachers, they will just tell you that if you have 4x and you subtract 1x, you will end up with 3x. That is true. But I want you to understand the deep reason why. And that's because we can factorize like this. Okay? Now, let's get rid of the 2. So we get rid of the 2 first before we deal with the 3. Okay? So what do? We're going to subtract with 2 on both sides of the equation. So we're going to write 3x plus 2. And then we're going to do minus 2 here. And we're going to do minus 2 here also. Okay? These cancel out, so we only have 3x remaining. Look how beautiful when you keep it vertical like this. Like all the equal signs are just straight underneath each other. That's such a good trick, guys. And then on the right hand side we have 14 minus 2, that's 12. And now we divide it by 3 on both sides to get rid of the 3. We end up with x is equal to 4. That's the solution. Let's check our solution. We always check. Let's check. The left-hand side was 4x plus 2 minus x. Right? Now we say x is equal to 4. So we have 4 times 4 plus 2 minus 4. Right? Instead of x, we write 4. And then we see here that this is 16 plus 2 minus 4, right? That's 18 minus 4, which is equal to 14, which is equal to the right-hand side. Right? 14. So we have that the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. So this solution, x equal 4, is totally fine. It's okay. It's correct. And the last example for today is 6x is equal to 3x plus 15. So now we have x at both sides of the equal sign. So how do we get rid of that one? We subtract with 3x on both sides, right? We do minus 3x here. And then here we had 3x plus 15. And then we do minus 3x here. Now this 3x minus 3x, these two cancel each other out. Sorry, it should be a plus here. Okay? And then we have 6x minus 3x, right? That's equal to 6x, 6 minus 3, right? And here we have 15. That's equal to 3. So we have 3x is equal to 15. Now finally, we want to get rid of the 3. We divide by 3. We divide by 3. And then we have x is equal to 5. Now let's just check to make sure everything is halal. The left-hand side is equal to 6 times x. That's 6 times 5. That's equal to 30. The right-hand side is equal to 3x plus 15. Right? And that is 3 times 5 plus 15. That's 15 plus 15, which is also equal to 30. So it's equal to the left-hand side. So the right and the left-hand side are the same, so the solution is all okay. Guys, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you learned something. Equations is not hard, it's easy. All it needs is practice, and see a lot of examples. So guys, support the video, support this community, hit that like button. I see you at the last part number 3.
Wow.